right, man, let's get this show cracking. What I'm gonna do on this opening segment, bro, besides smoke. Oh yeah, we got a new study. A new fucking study finds something outrageous. So we're gonna talk about that. Hang on. Real quick sidebar. I know a lot of this podcast is built on weed smoking, and a lot of what I say I might end up eventually being full of shit because I've tried to not smoke weed a lot of times and I've failed more than all of those times. So but eventually we're gonna be taking a brief break from this. Like we just got weed, we're gonna have to, and I'm trying to speak it into existence because it's fucking hard. Anybody who loves smoking weed knows how that's just not really like a task you readily sign up for, man. It's fucking hard to quit smoking. But one thing I can say about it is that time is not about to happen right now, motherfucker. I'm firing up right now. You should too. Absolute magnificence. Look at this shit. Hold on, bro. Look at this fucking shit, bro. Just brilliant. Just a wonderful. Oh my lord, man. I gotta catch camera angles, blowing clouds, man. Nigga just my nigga. Hey. All right, enough bullshit. We got from side post a rather ridiculous well I've decided to come back to. Yeah. All right. So probably only gonna be able to do this one right now. So new study highlights the psychological power of minimal social interactions. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know what the fuck a minimal social interaction is. I suppose we're about to find out. I'm gonna let you know right now. This was gonna be a clapback, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through all of this shit. 'Cause it's only so much stupidity I can tolerate, even for the sake of media and podcasts. Like this is I cannot. I literally can fucking not. I don't want to either. I don't want to be made to. But this whatever, bro. Let's just fucking start reading. Um New research suggests that even the simplest forms of social interaction, like greeting or thanking someone, can significantly boost our life satisfaction. The findings, published in Social, Psychological, and Personality Science, highlight the often overlooked value of everyday minimal social interactions. The motivation behind this study stemmed from decades of scientific research on the impact of close relationships, like family and friends, on psychological well being. However, interactions with acquaintances and strangers, the people we might casually greet on our morning walk, thank a bus driver, or exchange a few words at with the supermarket, had not been as thoroughly explored. This gap in understanding prompted researchers to investigate whether these minimal interactions could be just as crucial to our overall happiness as the deeper connections we share with close ones. Well, I'm gonna butt in here, and I'm gonna tell you that whilst those things do have some impact, they do have some kind of effect on one's overall happiness. At the end of the day, one's overall happiness is up to oneself. There is nobody else is inherently and intrinsically responsible for your overall happiness but you. People can make you happy, people can do things that result in your happiness, you know, but at the end of the day, people can do things that don't result in your happiness. And there's going to be more people doing things that don't result in your happiness as there are that do, just, or at least 50-50. So if it's 50-50, then what the fuck good is one over the other? So like the happiness is up to you. Are you gonna choose to be happy or are you gonna choose to be sad? Some days you should choose to be sad. Because it's good to identify with the portion of you that is melancholia, that is sadness. Like you, the makeup of you is comprised of sadness. Like everyone has been sad. I can say that confidently. Everyone who has ever existed long enough to comprehend to any degree, to a basic understanding degree of an emotion, has experienced sadness. Everyone who's ever lived. Hell, some of the greatest things we have, like music, fucking things like charities, you know, all that shit. Religion comes from sadness. It comes from a place of sadness. Because if there's just sadness, there has to be another place to go than sadness. You know, there's happiness. You can't. You can try to choose happiness all the time, but that's not always going to result in like genuine happiness. A lot of times, you're just going to be faking it, and if it works, fine. But like the ultimate decision on general overall happiness boils down to the user. Like you've gotta want to be happy, and if you don't want to be happy, then I mean, shockingly, you fucking won't be. But that's neither here nor there. To continue, I've been involved in research for almost 10 years. Oops. This is a quote, by the way. I've been involved in relationship research for almost 10 years, but I focused solely on close relationships until recently, said study author Ezra Assigil, a postdoctoral researcher at Sabancı University in Istanbul. It was the pandemic that made me realize how much the people outside of our close social circle matter for our well-being. Uh, I mean, these statements aren't false, but I think one should use a degree of common sense and moderation. Like, and anyone who's using common sense and moderation like as a regular staple in a operating system, like probably doesn't really need to hear that. They know that already, and they probably already, you know, understand where the healthy degree is that people outside of your close social circle matter for your well-being. We're all interconnected. Like everything exists because of somebody else. Many of us were sheltering in place with our families and tried to keep in touch with close others, but our minimal social interactions were mostly gone. I know I miss saying good morning to the bus driver and making small talk with people I don't know well by the coffee machine at work. This was a big motivation for me to join some great researchers, my co authors in this study, and studying brief interactions with strangers and weak ties. Now let's see, the lady about to tell us what they did to come to this startling conclusion. So to investigate this, the researchers employed two distinct groups of participants. The first group, referred to as Sample A, consisted of 3,266 adults from Turkey, gathered through face to face interviews by Conda, a leading public opinion research company. This sample was representative of the Turkish population, covering all 12 regions of the country. The second group, Sample B, was much larger, with 60,141 adult participants. So, what was there? Were there non-adult participants too? Just curious. The first group, referred to as Sample A, consisted of 3,266 adults. Oh, no, okay, I read that part already. I threw myself off. I gotta get a new mouse wheel. That's just fucking terrible. 60,000. This group was primarily composed of individuals from the United Kingdom, but also included English-speaking participants from various other countries. The data for Sample B was collected via an anonymous online questionnaire as part of the Kindness Test, a project conducted by the University of Sussex in partnership with the British Broadcasting Corporation. Okay, from the UK, English speaking participants from other places. Okay. Participants in the study were asked to report on different types of social interactions. In the Turkish sample, the focus was on weak tie interactions, those casual exchanges with acquaintances. Participants rated how often they engaged in greeting, thanking, or initiating conversations with people they knew but weren't close to. In both samples, participants were also asked about their interactions with complete strangers, specifically how many social conversations they had started in the past week. To understand the broader social context of participants, the study also included measures of relational mobility, gauging the ease with which the people in their environment meet and establish new relationships. Life satisfaction was assessed through a straightforward question in both samples, asking participants to rate their overall satisfaction with life. In sample A, individuals who frequently greeted, thanked, or conversed with acquaintances reported greater life satisfaction. This correlation was also observed in sample B, where participants who engaged in more conversation with strangers also indicated higher life satisfaction. To further strengthen these findings, the researchers used an instrumental variable analysis, a sophisticated statistical method that suggested these associations were not just correlations, but likely casual. Okay, so just make sure I'm not getting bombarded with language here. To further strengthen these findings, the researchers used instrumental variable analysis, a sophisticated statistical method that suggested these associations were not just correlations, but likely casual. Okay, so basically not coincidence. Everyday life involves numerous opportunities to interact with strangers and people we don't know well. We can greet and thank the cashier at the grocery store. We can start a conversation with the person sitting next to us on the bus, and so on. Our findings suggest that interactions like these can increase our life satisfaction. Yeah, okay. Interestingly, the research found that these minimal interactions had a positive effect on life satisfaction across both Western and non Western cultural contexts. This suggests that the benefits of simple social interactions are universal, transcending cultural boundaries. The effect was even more pronounced among English speaking participants, hinting at possible cultural differences in how social interactions are valued and experienced. One of the main questions we wanted to address in this research was whether very brief social interactions, such as simply saying hello or thank you to people we don't know well, could contribute to well being. On the one hand, there was some prior research suggesting that only deeper interactions, example, a conversation where one self discloses, could contribute to well being. Mm. On the other hand, there was some other prior research suggesting that even very brief interaction with strangers could make people feel more connected to others. We were pleased to find that greeting and thanking contributed to well-being in a large nationally representative sample. While the study's results are compelling, it's important to note its limitations. The reliance on self-reports for measuring social interactions could lead to recall bias, where participants might not accurately remember or report their interactions. Furthermore, the study did not directly measure the quality of close relationships, which are known to significantly impact well-being. Further research could explore this aspect more deeply, perhaps using direct measures of relationship quality to understand how close and minimal interactions interplay to affect our overall happiness. The study also points towards potential directions for future research. One intriguing area could be to investigate how these findings apply to other non-Western countries, especially those that are represented in the current study. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we seem like we tapped out on that one. I don't really see this as like groundbreaking. This is not. I mean, I do this all the time, and it's not so much for my overall happiness. It's just a reminder that other people work hard too. Like I'm not the only person with a good work ethic, and I've always wanted to do a segment about like unsung heroes, like people who have like thankless jobs, or people who don't really get the credit that they deserve because their job is not like being a fucking movie star or some shit like that. And bus drivers is one of those jobs. And I am thankful for bus drivers, even though some of them are assholes. Like some of them shouldn't be driving buses, but they are. And without them, I would be walking sometimes. I'd be walking a lot more. 99% of the time when I get off the bus, I tell the bus driver, thank you. Thank you, bus driver. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can ask anybody who's ever been on the phone, man. I always thank bus drivers. This is not some virtue signaling bullshit. Like I always thank bus drivers. Always. Unless they're rude to me. Then I don't say anything. But I understand it's a thankless job. Like people take the bus for granted. Like just because you live in the city, you're supposed to have a bus. Like what if there was no bus? You'd be riding a bike. You have to be eating vegetables and shit and taking care of yourself so you could get around. You would need to go places in order to survive, and you need to be healthy in order to do that. And you couldn't rely on no bus to just take the weight of not having a vehicle off your shoulders. You know? It's a very thankless job. People assault bus drivers. They got to sit in the fucking cage. When I was coming up, bus drivers didn't have that fucking panel between them and the goddamn public. But now the public so goddamn wretched. Shit, I don't blame a motherfucker. Like, you gotta have that shit. These wild ass motherfuckers out here, especially in Vegas. Like, I had a motherfucker, a barefoot. I'll tell this story and I close. I was leaving Plasma one day, and it was this fucking homeless guy. He was disheveled and fucking filthy. And I don't have I have no tolerance for people who like intentionally delay the bus for no good cause. Like no obvious good cause. Like you delaying the bus, you holding up everybody. Like you're holding up the entire system right now. This bus has multiple transfer points that they need to meet at a certain time. You fucking that up, like insubordinately. Like, so it's like, come on, man. She says you got to get this dude get on the bus, sit down, don't pay no fare. She's like, I can't move the bus till security get here. I'm like, I stood up. I'm like, hey, cousin, you guys to get the fuck off the bus. He said, oh, no, you're not going nowhere. And unintelligible babble and shit. Like, we get into a little scuffle. People go to the back of the bus and shit. I'm like squaring up with this motherfucker. I'm feigning punches. I kick this motherfucker. He falls. And he tries like, he landed a little something. He started like grabbing on both bars, trying to like bicycle kick me and shit. We end up on the back end of the bus where you got to go up the stairs past the back door. Like, I kick his ass in the chest. He fall back in the seat. And I'm like, I see he looking for a fight. I'm not looking for no fight. So, like, I try to, like, back up. And I end up clinching him. And I fucking throw his ass off the goddamn bus. And she shuts the doors. The bus driver was recording all of that shit. Like, I threw this motherfucker off the bus. Like, for real. Sat down, stepped out, picked up my shades, put them bitches back on, sat down like it wasn't shit. Nigga, no. Bus drivers should not have to put up with that shit. It's a thankless job. You should always thank your bus driver, man. I mean, if you don't, that's on you, but I do it, and it's just my way of staying humble. That's how I do. That's how I remember. Like, you know, I'm just a cog in the broader scheme of it all. Oh, okay. I started off as a mess. Whatever. A positive change I want to bring to the podcast. I want to start making this like a men's friendly space. Like, you know, women got this ain't like men's rights, like women's rights and all that, but it's like this is definitely, I hope the message that I send on my podcast resonates with young men and men in general. So I want to talk about things that men can relate to, and something I've been real big on as of late, and something I'm going to be extremely big on going forward is like fragrance, aroma, personal hygiene. You know, I found some real good fragrances. We're going to start reviewing men's fragrances on this shit. Like, we about to really get to that point. We're about to start reviewing things for men that men enjoy, that men can benefit from. Like, this is a man's space before it's anything else. So, without further ado, I want to take a minute to put on this right here. I don't know if you can see it that well. It's called Blackstone Sandalwood. It's got sandalwood, oud wood. That's O-U-D. I'm really fond of this oud wood. Like, look it up. The wood of the gods. This shit smells fascinating. Like, it's remarkably enthralling. That's how I would put it. But yeah, we got sandalwood, oud wood, vanilla, tonka bean, amber, and eastern spices. Really, really good men's fragrance. Really solid, really, really musky, heavy flavor. You will smell it. If you're the type of person that like to be able to smell your own fragrance on you, you will smell this throughout the day. You only need a couple squirts of this thing. It's a good, long-lasting bargain. You find it wherever you found it. I'm not telling you where I found it. And I got this right here. It was this two-pack of soap from Castelbel, Porto. It's cedarwood. It smells amazing. Like if I hadn't taken a shower this morning already and not really done that much, I would go take another shower just to smell like this. This smells extremely pleasantly masculine. It's like a real heavy, clean scent. It's got some musk, but the musk is like it's like hops and beer. Like it's an undertone, you know. Yeah, but like when you getting up close and personal, when your lady friend, when you booed up and she getting the snuggle mode, she gonna get up on you. She gonna smell that cedar wood and that oud wood and that sandalwood, and she gonna feel that wood and everything. It's gonna be a real wooden affair, nigga. You feel me? Shit. So yeah, man. Once again, we got it's from Blackstone Men's Collection, sandalwood. And then we got what's it called? Castlebell Porto, CASTLBL Porto. Two really, really great men's fragrances. I can't wait to actually wash up and put this on. Right now in there I got Hunter and Gray, Sea Salt and Sage. That's another one, but you know we gonna crawl before we ball. And as far as deodorant goes, I found this thing. It's called like Crosscut. It's like I know it's oud wood in there, and it's a couple other things. I'll probably bring it up somewhere in the next segment. But yeah, check them fragrances out, man. Good part of being a put together man is smelling good, having your hygiene clean. When a man or a woman walk by, they know this motherfucker who takes care of himself. Your appearance is right. You smelling good. You looking good. Your swagger on point. Get yourself together, man. It's 2024. It's time for men to do better. It's not just talking about doing better. It's about actually doing the fucking work, man. It's time to do the fucking work. Sandalwood from the Blackstone Men's Collections and Castlebell Porto, cedarwood. Get them wood fragrances in there. Get your smell on, man. I smell like a goddamn man. All right, so I threw this one in here on the fly. I ain't peeped this shit earlier, but I do recall not too long ago. I forget what I was watching, but I seen this trailer for something called oh God, I dropped one. Oh Lord, dear Jesus. You okay? All right. But yeah, I seen this trailer for this movie called what the fuck was this shit called? The American Society of Magical Negroes. Now ain't that just a fucking woke ass title? Ain't that title just dripping with wokeness? The Society of Magical Negroes. What's it called? Like it's so stupid I can't remember it when I hear it. Like when I just said it. The American Society of Magical Negroes. So like what the fuck? What's the first thing that come to your mind when you hear this shit? And you hear about the American Society of Magical Negroes. Is that even a title that sounds inviting? Do you hear about the American Society for Magical Negroes and you become like enthralled? Like, do you wanna know more about this shit? Or you like magical Negroes? Tell me more. Like, nobody says that. Nobody. I bet nobody fucking says that. Because nobody gives a fuck about no society, about no American Society for Magical Negroes. What the fuck are we, 10? Like, this lame ass title, this lame ass concept, like, and I'm probably not the best person to fucking to judge movies anyway. Like, I'm probably a horrible movie critic. Like, I don't really watch that many movies, but in my defense, a lot of the movies that come out today suck ass. They fucking suck. The trailers suck. There's no call to actually come check this shit out. Just some shitty ass trailer, some shitty ass, like, man, this shit's lame. So real quick, before I read this article, I'm gonna look for I'm gonna look for a trailer on this shit. Let me go to Google. I type in Google, that shit pop up Google. Like, just give me fucking Google, bro. Like, damn. And Bing don't want to let me go to Google. They possessive ass. Google recommends, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck what Google recommends. I ain't asked Google what they recommended. Anywho, American Society Magical, the American Society of Magical Negroes, 2024 film. David Justice Smith, David Allen Greer, Rupert Friend, Aisha Hines, Nicole. Okay, so it's a predominantly appears to be mostly black cast with like a few white people sprinkled in. So you know this is like a BET program. It's only what 10 people, 9 people in the cast. Okay, well, I guess I stand corrected. It's rather even then. And of course, yep, I knew that was gonna happen. But yeah, it's kind of even. So let me see if I can find a trailer for this shit. Who the fuck's Drew Tarver, Tim Baltz, and Lee Bogan? Yeah, I don't know who these motherfuckers are. Let's just get a trailer up here so we can see this shit, this awful shit.
Welcome.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm not gonna pull it up on here because I have YouTube Premium and I don't want to see ads. Magical Negro trailer, yeah. Now listen to that. I just typed in Magical Negro trailer and that's what popped up. Like, don't that shit just sound triggery? The Magical Negro trailer. Like, come on, man. Y'all niggas could do better than this, dog. Like, you might well say the American Society of Magical Niggas. Like, you can say that shit nowadays. It ain't no motherfucking big deal. Magical niggas. Just say it. Just say it right now if you listening to this shit. Magical niggas. Magical niggas. These magic niggas. These magical ass niggas. Where these niggas come from with all this damn magic? You fucking magical fucks. Yeah, bear with me here. I'm just killing time because this wasn't planned. I had an article read, which we gonna skim through. I'm not gonna force you to read the whole thing. If it start becoming drudgery, then we'll just get rid of that shit. But I need to pull this up, and it's a process. There we go. Magical Negro trailer. All right, so in theaters March 22nd. Thank God it don't come out. It come out after my birthday, so I can't even create a reason to go look at this shit.
Welcome.
All right, so yeah, got a little noise in there. Forgive me. Trying to blow this shit up so we can get a full screen. Now let's take a look at this trailer here. All right, here we go.
To the American Society of Magical Negroes.
I know you can feel their discomfort, Aaron. Watching you walk through a room full of white people was the most painful thing I've ever seen.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I want to take you to a job interview.
There's a recruiting class starting right now, and we got to get you in it.
Welcome to the American Society of Magical Negroes.
I don't really understand.
Yeah, me.
What's the most dangerous animal on the planet?
Shark.
White people, when they feel uncomfortable. White people feeling uncomfortable precedes a lot of bad stuff for us. That's why we fight white discomfort every day. Because the happier they are, the safer we are.
The name needs a little updating, maybe like magical black people, or I guess that doesn't have the same ring.
You ready?
Oh, wow.
Your first client is a Jason Munn. His morale is far too low.
Hey.
Hey.
Darn it, I was hoping there was a station right next to him.
Oh, is this one spoken for?
No?
Yeah, it's actually fun and weirdly relaxing. It's like being a secret agent with none of the danger.
Hey, I'm Lizzie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
She's great.
Yeah, she's cool.
You kidding? Come on, man. She's smart and funny.
I know what you were doing going on about her. You're trying to set us up.
No, that's not what I was doing.
Who is this fucking guy? Can we get a look at him again?
You cannot have
This
a
fucking
relationship
guy.
with Lizzie now. Because if you don't put Jason first, everyone's magic will fail.
Who is this guy? That's the Justice whatever. His name's awfully close to Jussie Smollett. Like, he almost looks like this guy. I wouldn't do that to this dude. I don't know him, so I can't compare him to Jussie just yet. But this guy, he strikes me as kind of lame. Like, he doesn't really strike me as like lead role material. Then again, I'm not the best movie critic, but I absolutely find this shit stupid. Okay, let's continue.
I've always felt like it's my job to make white people feel comfortable, and here it literally is. But maybe it shouldn't be.
I got a great plan to ask her out, but I'm gonna need your help.
Do you think you could, work your magic?
Hey, is he talking about me?
Hey.
Oh my God. Wait, are you?
But I've traveled a long way.
Someone
defied the society. Who was it?
If you didn't let her go like I told you, if you'd interfere with her or your client, you could have your memory erased. You won't even remember she existed.
Even though we might never see each other again, I need you to know that what we had was real.
I'm curious to see how you gonna make it out of all this.
All right. Okay, so I'll concede that that little love narrative that they got about him dating the white guy, I mean the white girl, that's probably the silver lining in all of this. That's probably gonna be the one thing that will make me put my foot in my mouth. So unfortunately, while still in 2023, because I'm recording this on December 31st, 2023. So tomorrow will be in a new year. And I'm gonna have to go see this. Like, I'm just gonna have to go see this and judge it for myself. And like, this is the way, like, because the premise is extremely woke. So, what's the most dangerous predator in the wild? Dude says a shark, and he cuts him off and says white people. So, and I'm also benefited to doubt this shit here and attribute that was supposed to be some type of humor. Like, that was supposed to be funny. It wasn't, not to me. I mean, I get the whole, let me stop. I don't. Like I've said plenty of times on this podcast, I'm over this whole whitey vibe. Like, I don't, that shit. Oh, the white man, whitey's holding us back. Like, all right, but I'm not trying to get into that here. I'm just trying to stay focused on these magical Negroes. Like, the magical Negroes that tell the black dude that he can't go flirt with the white girl because it'll fuck up the magic. Fuck up the magic, fuck up the magic, fuck up the magic. Camera, switch. It'll fuck the magic up. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm anticipating that this movie's gonna be a flop. It really seems aimed at a particular demographic. This definitely seems like a movie for black folks. And I remember the way black folks was when Black Panther came out. Like, when I was like, before I started my podcast, like, I was seeing shit. Yeah, my nose itch. I was seeing shit where this black girl was talking about white people ain't allowed to go see Black Panther because it's our movie as black people. And if white people want to help, then they can sit outside the motherfucking movie theater and be security and like safeguard it so all the black people inside can enjoy the movie. I'm like, that's patently absurd. Like, come on, man. That's a ridiculous ass ask. Like, oh, you gotta sit outside and stand guard because it's a black people movie? If you was to try to bounce that back and be like, so what about if you go see a white people? I wouldn't go see a white person movie. Blah, 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 this and that. It's like, these radically Afrocentric ass motherfuckers generally are not, they don't have any interest in fairness. They want their way. The fairness is just, maybe collateral damage. I don't know. But the fairness is not why they showed up to the fucking banquet. And while I myself, I'm a black person, I could potentially be a beneficiary of what they do. I think that beneficiary only extends on paper. I don't think I myself stand to benefit from motherfuckers race hustling and like taking opportunities from someone who might be better suited for them. I've been fortunate enough to live and grow up in a time where I'm not giving anything just because I'm black. I don't want anything just because I'm black. That's not real. That doesn't aid me in my journey and my fulfillment. That doesn't tell me in any certain or uncertain terms that I'm taking steps and making moves that's gonna help me do better in my life. And that's kind of what I want. I don't need anything handed to me because I'm black. I don't care about the history of it. Hang on. Shit. I don't care about all the pretenses of before or whatever. Like, this is a new time. And change is the only constant. And these motherfuckers are constantly not fucking changing the narrative with the time. Like, this isn't how it is anymore. Like, you need to be finding more creative and more actually better ways to like benefit black people, because I don't think this is it. But you have my word. I, Chico de Manuel, will, at my own expense, venture out to the movie theater, the cinema. Thank you. And I will view this movie for myself because I talk so much shit about it. It's only fair. But I do not have high hopes or high expectations for the American Society of Magical Negroes. I'm thrown off by the title. But just like I did with the Barbie movie and any other potentially controversially woke nonsense that come out, I will view it so you don't have to. And I will give you the most objective and impartial review that I'm capable of. You still don't have to watch it, but if you do, you at least know what you're getting yourself into. So that's my take on the American Society for Magical News. All right, found this other article. It's talking about it's a simple headline. I'll pull it up real quick. Stop queering every goddamn thing. That part. Stop queering everything. And I want to touch on that in the sense that like the whole queering everything, a big part of that is one thing I often complain about rather often is this sudden epidemic of these TikTok professionals, or these motherfucking TikTok life coach ass motherfuckers who just think they got the answer. They just know. There's not only this, sometimes queer can include and such and blah 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 blah. Like it's a something carved out for everything, and if it isn't, all that needs to happen is that thing needs to be brought to the attention of these people, and they'll invent something for it. They'll just make some shit up. They be making this up on the fly as they go. This shit ain't real, bro. All this motherfucking pansexual and cupiosexual, bisexual, organistically phantasmal sexual, it's just too much shit, man. These motherfuckers want to broaden the definition of every goddamn thing. Like, you can't have, what's the point of a broad definition? Maybe if you're talking to a kid or something. But like, definitions are meant to be precise because there are a lot of fucking words. And we can't afford to have a language where it's that easy to just get the words mixed up or not be able to communicate your fucking message. That's just ridiculous. But these people, these leftists don't seem to understand that shit. Let's read here. Stop queering everything. Blah, 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 blah. Who is this? Washington Examiner. Did you know that John the Baptist could be viewed through a queer lens? How about the Bible or ballroom dance? This is what queer reading, also known as queering, is all about. Taking a subject and trying to figure out a way to view it through an LGBT prism. And that's a pretty common practice. That's half of, I actually wouldn't even say half of. I would say it's a great deal, if not all, of the tactics these people use to like achieve platforms and like infiltrate things in society that have been like firmly established for a very long time, like to change up. Like, it's like humans have gotten too good for their own advancement. Like, when we start talking about shit like this, life is way too easy. If we even sit here talking about queer reading or LGBT prism, or LGBT lens, like, yeah, that's indicative of way too much free time. I mean, like, copious amounts of free time that's not in any sense beneficial. A queer reading guide explains that queer time, for example, is the time that will destroy heteronormative's time conception of itself. This then relates to the horror that, what? Huh? Okay, so you gonna have to. They gonna have to run that by me again. So queer time. I'm sorry, like I'm genuinely perplexed by this shit. I don't know if I'm just high or what. My nigga, this shit say queer time is the time that will destroy heteronormative time's conception of itself. This then relates to the horror that is created by the queering of time, to the breaking down of the binaries that hold together normative society, as the time in which queer subjects exist is also a time in which heteronormativity exists. What I just read, bro? What the fuck did I just read? A queer reading. Okay, one more time. Queer time is the time that will destroy heteronormative time's conception of itself. This then relates to the horror that is created by the queering of time through the breaking down the binaries that hold together normative society, as the time in which queer subjects exist is also a time in which heteronormativity exists. Okay, that's a completely incoherent thought right there. I don't know what's the goal here. I don't know what they're trying to achieve, but that doesn't scan anywhere. That's completely incoherent. Your IQ has suffered just from this being in the ethos. Like, you don't have to actually see your IQ suffer to know that shit suffered, bro. Like, this is absurd. This is wildly absurd. I don't know, dude. Let me switch back to this shit. I think it was this one. Okay, nah, that ain't it. There we go. There we go. All right. Sorry, I'm trying out some new shit over here. There we go. Let's do it like that. All right, so it sounds like nonsense meant to make sure I'm on the right screen. Yeah, I wasn't. There we go. If that sounds like nonsense meant to make a pseudo academic pursuit seem like a legitimate approach to research, it is. Queering is a way for gender studies professor and queer theorists to make it look like they are practicing scholarship that is equal to that of a chemist or a physicist. A theologian wrote this about John the Baptist. Applying a queer lens to today's gospel, we might say that the mission of John the Baptist is inherently queer. This is not to say anything about his sexual orientation, which we will never know. Sister Jane Asseltine wrote for New Ways Ministry, a nominally Catholic group that operates without approval from Catholic leadership. Okay, so let me just highlight this right here. So, yeah. What do you think about that? You know, we'll never know John the Baptist's sexuality, because that's totally what the fuck we was worried about when we was doing whatever we was doing that brought us here. That's totally what we was thinking, like how sexual was John the Baptist? You know, was he bisexual? Was he pansexual? You know, did he identify as a two-spirit being? Was he gender fluid? Can we talk to the motherfucking historians so they can figure out the gender identity of John the Baptist? I think I'm going out on a limb here. He might be a guy, but I'm not certain. Based on his cues and shit, he seemed like a guy, but you can't never assume. You know. And as far as this queer lens shit, yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's also not real. Queer lens. But like that's just basically saying like when you look at shit through non-reality, that's what I hear. When I hear queer lens, I basically say, well, when you look at it stupidly, when you don't value the truth, if you would just think outside the box for a second, then you could see it the way I see it. But if you're gonna use rational thinking and logic and all that shit, you can get the fuck out of here with that because you're just gonna poke holes in it that I'm not gonna be able to defend. And it's not gonna, no, you can't, no. They're kind of fishy. Like, the fact that you have to view something through another lens, per se, in order to get your point across or to, like, augment history is despicable. That's just really pathetic. It's really off-putting. It should be, this article is spot on about it. Like, these are the obvious tales that this is nothing but just like some sexually mischievous bunch of individuals whose sexual identity occupies the forefront of whatever personality or whoever they are beneath that. Keep reading. Paraphrasing another theologian, Asseltine writes that queering is, quote, pushing beyond the binary, challenging the status quo, and turning authority on its head. She then asks, was that not exactly what John was doing? St. John challenged authority by telling the king he was wrong to commit sexual sins. It is ahistorical to make him into an LGBT warrior, and slapping queer on him does not make it true. It's not just religion that is subject to queering. The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists called for queering nuclear weapons. President Joe Biden tried that with Deputy Assistant Secretary for Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition Sam Brinton. It failed. Wow. Yeah, we all know about Sam Brinton, whatever the fuck his name was. Quote, exclusion and unfair treatment of queer individuals and other minorities by a homogenous, cis, heteronormative community of practitioners also creates vulnerabilities in nuclear decision making. What the fuck does that mean? This is why it is important to apply queer theory according to the article. The queer lens prioritizes the rights and well-being of people over the abstract idea of national security, and it challenges the mainstream understanding of nuclear weapons, the authors wrote. An offshoot of Marxism and critical theory. Queering can even be applied to topics such as gerontology, the study of aging. Queer gerontology is a critical analysis of the heterosexual norms shaping scholarship and practice in gerontology. University of California, San Francisco professor Jesus Ramirez Valles wrote in 2017 in his book about baby boomers, a play on the phrase baby boomers. Ramirez Valles applies a Marxist approach to aging gay men. Hang on, man. I gotta hit the weed. Keep reading this. I just, this is a lot, man. This ain't a little bit. This is a fucking lot. Where's my lighter? Yeah, bro. I see why people thought I was mentally ill. I'm not. I don't need no apology. It ain't worth apologizing. Like, I get it. I was righteously indignant on some leftist shit, but at this day and age, it is beyond clear to me that these people are touched. They are disturbed mentally. They are not in stride. Whoa, hang on there, buddy. What the fuck do you got going on? I spent half this podcast licking once. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, man, that. Oh, wow. What a mess here. But yeah, baby boomers. Like, now, in that little excerpt I just read, like, do you see how many, like, spooky ass language words? Like, they're just saying things that aren't established anywhere. They're just saying shit. The cis heteronormative motherfucking baby boomer, they got a phrase for every goddamn thing, bro. And it's like, when they do that, you can't keep up. Because as a normal person, you spent your whole life mastering if you're in America, most likely the English language. So it's not that this is not English, but you're just using vernacular that's just made up. It's on the fly. Like, this shit is esoteric. Everybody don't know what the fuck you talking about. Like, if I say the word golf, like, there's a word for golf in every language. Like, golf is understood around the world. If I say bucket, if I say automobile, car, like all those things are understood. But you talking about like cis maneuverable. Like what the fuck is that? It's like it's a cis-generated automobile. A cis maneuverable? You can't, like, who the fuck knew what a cis maneuverable was till I just made the definition for it up? They fucking with the language, bro. Constantly. I remember episode 49. That's Women Do Not Belong in Sports. This is an outright attack on language. It's an outright attack on the language. And this is all of it on display. Like, I be seeing shit like this, and I'm like, do I really need to keep reading this shit? Do I really need to fucking keep reading this shit? These motherfuckers have lost their mind. This should be the end of it right here. Yeah. Fucking queer gerontology is the critical analysis of the heterosexual. Oh yeah, Ramirez Valiant. Okay. Gay boomers, I argue, are defying stereotypes about older gay people, shifting the meanings of old age, exposing some of the heterosexual foundations of old age while reproducing other features of our white heterosexual neoliberal capitalist system. Listen to this sentence, bro. Listen to this fucking sentence. Let me make this shit bigger. Listen to this shit, bro. Gay boomers, I argue, are defying stereotypes about older gay people, shifting the meanings of old age, exposing some of the heterosexual foundations of old age, while reproducing other features of our white heterosexual neoliberal capitalist system. What the fuck is that? Bro, what is this sentence? Where's the meat? Where is the detail in this shit? Just making up words. Others have applied queering to aging too. Influenced by post-structuralism, critical theory, feminism, and cultural studies, queer theory provides an open theoretical system to view, understand, and analyze social relations. To blah 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 blah. Who gives a flying ass goddamn fuck? You ain't saying shit. None of that shit's meaningful. There is no meaningful text in that article. None. Not a motherfucking lick of it. All that crazy ass shit they were talking about. What was they saying earlier? I wanted to comment on something. They said way up. Hold on, let me look at this shit. Oh yeah, St. John, was that not exactly like that whole shit was pushing the authority on his head, challenging the status quo. These people are rebels without a cause. That's what that is. You're just rebels without a cause. Your cause is to do gay shit. That's your cause. That's not a cause. Sam Britton, the motherfucking nigga who was in the government job, who going in the airport stealing bitches' luggage and shit, and wearing the clothes and like wearing lipstick and dressing up, weirdo ass motherfucker, like on some weirdo shit. Like you had a government job and you can't even buy your own clothes for your fetish, bro. You a fraud. Y'all motherfuckers ain't got no fetish, man. Y'all weird. Important to apply queer theory, like no. This shit don't make no sense. These motherfuckers just making up words constantly, nonstop. But when you look at the sentence as a whole, there's no meat. There's no takeaway from it. You haven't actually said anything of any meaning, any value. You're just rambling and inventing words. Like I could do the same shit if you gave me 15 minutes and a pen. I don't even need fucking paper. Give me a dry erase marker. Nigga, me and my best friend can talk about some shit right in front of your ass in a made-up language that neither of us know until we make it. We got a whole language built off of made-up words that we've made up over our 25, 26-year friendship. So, like, what the fuck? Y'all, something wrong with y'all asses. Something's upstairs. The configuration is wrong, bro. And you need to be able to spot this shit. Like, this shit, if this is not a part of your world, one day it very well may be. It may very well be in your face. And you need to stand your ground. You need to stick with objective reality and know that these motherfuckers trying to pull a fast one on you. Under some kind of guise, under some kind of bullshit, whatever they say is just not fucking true. And they're relying on you to be dumb, docile, and stupid and not recognize this shit. Don't be dumb, docile, and stupid. Be aware and reject the woke nonsense at every opportunity. All right, got this from the Daily Wire. Let me pull this headline back up on my end. It says, on Christmas morning, man reportedly stabbed two teenagers eating out with their parents. allegedly yelled, "I want all the white people dead." Man, what the fuck, bro? What the actual fuck? So what's the deal with that shit? So I skimmed through this a couple days ago, and this is wild. There's a lot of wild things about this, aside from the fact that two people got stabbed and some dude runs around and is yelling all the white people dead. That's ironically, that's not even the most bizarre thing about this story. That's not the most bizarre thing about it. This shit, let's just get to the article, bro. All right, so you see here, this must be where it happened. On Christmas morning, a 36-year-old black man who allegedly yelled, "I want all the white people dead," reportedly stabbed two teenage white sisters enjoying a meal with their parents at a Grand Central Terminal restaurant. The man, who had a number of prior arrests, allegedly stabbed the 16-year-old girl in the back, hitting her lungs, and the 14-year-old girl in the thigh. The girls eating with their parents at the Tartinery were visiting from South America. Now, this tweet right here, Marina Medvin, I pulled this up right here. I got this, so I'm going to zoom on this. And I'm also going to put this full screen. So a 36-year-old black man screamed, "I want all the white people dead," before stabbing two white teenage girls ages 14 and 16. Now, before you say something, I would normally say that the race does not matter. I normally would be like, what difference does it make about his fucking race? What difference does it make whether he's white or black? But in this instance, let's set this down for a second because I ain't hitting it. In this instance, some dude stabbed some white people whilst yelling, allegedly, "I want the white people dead." So like race is a part of this. This ain't race hustling. Like race is actually a factor because whilst this man was committing the crime, he was like, "I want the white people dead," as he's trying to kill white people. So he's made it about race. So normally I would say the race doesn't matter, but in this case, it absolutely matters. So just need to put that little disclaimer in there real quick. Oh yeah, nah, big screen and shit. Here we go. A 36-year-old black man screamed, "I want all the white people dead," and the two white teenage girls aged 14 and 16 who were visiting New York City with their parents and eating at a restaurant on Christmas morning. I know this happened in New York City. Fucking New York City. Fucking hellhole. Never go back to New York. Not the way it is now. The 16-year-old was stabbed in the back, the knife nicking her lungs. Her younger sister was stabbed in the thigh. Quote, Hutcherson was booked on felony counts of attempted murder, assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and misdemeanor endangering the welfare of a child, according to the MTA. He has not been charged with a hate crime. Now to talk about this shit, the bitch that kicked me out her house. We used to have this discussion all the time about hate crimes. While I generally agree that the distinction of a hate crime is kind of trivial, it's not necessary. It's like I understand the intent behind it is supposed to highlight when people are, like in this situation, he's attacking the white people saying, "I want the white people dead." So now you got some clear, direct evidence that this motherfucker did something out of some type of racially charged shit. So he should be charged with it because it's there. But the significance of it is debatable. But that ain't even the kicker. Hang tight. That ain't even the fucking kicker. He ain't been charged with a hate crime. Excuse me. And prior to the Christmas stabbing, he was last arrested November 7th for threatening to shoot a stranger in the Bronx. He was given a plea deal to a lesser offense and released without incarceration. He has 13 prior convictions. So this dude got all these convictions, and they keep letting him back out. He go to court, and they just let him out. They're not even booking him. This is the guy right here. They don't even bother to book the man. Look at this guy. Looking off at the sky and shit, like shirt all like lopsided, like the right shoulder too too close up on the neck. He ain't got like a decent haircut. He look like he just buzzed that, just throw the clippers on, boom, just run through that shit. Like look at this man. His appearance. That dingy ass shirt. He's a big fella. He's a big, strong dude. Like, motherfucker released without incarceration. And this is what the fuck he goes and does. How is why would you want to go to New York after reading this, bro? Like, this is what they do on the left. They let they absolutely let criminals on the fucking street. This man threatened to shoot somebody with 13 prior convictions. He didn't even get booked, bro. They didn't even take him to the station. This nigga got released without incarceration. Well, they probably took him to the station. He ain't really do no time, though. He ain't really go to jail. They might have just booked him. That's what I mean. He might have just been booked, and then they let this motherfucker right back out. And what the fuck he go do? Stab some people. Like, what the fuck? That's 100% preventable if you just keep this motherfucker off the streets. What value is this motherfucker? What is he doing? Like, how many man hours did the job he worked at lose due to him not being there and him out stabbing people? I'll tell you how many. 0. Because this motherfucker probably doesn't have a job. He's not valuable in any way that's positive or not in dangerous. This motherfucker's a liability. Fuck him. Fuck him. Who cares? No, we're just going to let him back out on the street, bro. That seemed like, we don't really want to deal with it. We got paperwork and shit. And, like, got only a 2-hour break for lunch and shit. Man, we got problems over here, man. According to the New York Post, staffers at the Tartanary said Stephen Hutchinson decided he wanted a table, but added he wasn't going to declare he wanted a table, but added he wasn't going to eat. When he was refused permission, he reportedly became furious and pointed to the seated family, claiming they weren't eating, ran off, seized the knife, and then stabbed the girls. Everyone was just running, a veteran MTA employee told the Post, adding the restaurant became chaotic. Sources informed the Post that Hutchinson has 17 prior arrests. His last arrest came on November, so when he told you just said it, told her, I'm going to shoot you. I don't care what kind of green card the government gave you. Open your mouth and say something. I will shoot you right now. He was sentenced on December 12th to conditional discharge. Conditional discharge. What the fuck? He should have been sentenced to time in jail. DAs are chopping all the charges down. Judges are letting him go. A law enforcement told the Post. Now we've got 2 teenagers who were stabbed. The system could have done a better job taking care of him. Charisma Knight, Hutchinson's ex-girlfriend who started dating him in 2021, told the New York Daily News. Why the fuck is she even talking? Why are we listening to her? It had to happen for someone to get hurt for them to take this seriously. She broke up with him in November 22. She recalled he would fall into rages. In March 2023, she filed for an order of protection. He was threatening to kill me and my family. At the same time, he's knocking on my mama's door at 11 o'clock at night. We got downstairs to the parking lot and we started fighting, and when we were fighting, I bit his hand. Damn. What the fuck did you see in this nigga? Oh, Bill Maher with Seth MacFarlane. Might want to check that out. Yeah, what'd you see in this guy? Like, where was his riz in the beginning? Like, how did this nigga pull you? Like, if these are the type of niggas that you fuck with, I really don't value what you had. So what? Okay, yeah, you got the protection order. Good thing you wised up. Congratulations for doing the thing you should have done after you did the thing you shouldn't have done. Like, good, better late than never, I guess. But what the fuck did you see in dog? This old disheveled ass maniac. This motherfucker pulling up like you ain't getting no red flags. This nigga that smooth. You ain't get no red flags. I don't buy that shit. I don't buy that shit. And dog, excuse me, dog should have never been let out the fucking jail to and he should have been sentenced is what I mean. I'm blown. He should have never been let back on the streets when he got threatened on November 7th for saying he's gonna shoot somebody. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna up the mag or whatever. That's when he should have been done. Anywhere else where they enforce the laws, if you get arrested for that shit, if you ain't got no lawyer or no money, you some poor ass motherfucker, you're done. You are done. You are fucking done. I think we all know this. It may not be moral or just, but we all know this to some degree. Like, if you're wealthy, you can get away with shit. If you're not, you probably won't get away with the same shit, you know, because you're poor. You're like, nobody gives a fuck about you. Like, I'm poor. Nobody gives a fuck about me. I give a fuck about me. I got one person in my corner, and that still has me ahead of the vast majority of motherfuckers who count themselves out. So, you know, but I feel really bad for the two white girls that got stabbed. Like, I would hope that they could come to reason and understand that this is not representative of, like, any race could have stabbed you. You know, it just happened to be this insane black motherfucker who the city of New York refuses to do something about. You were just on vacation and you feel subject to you know, the outcome of the lack of effect from the city government. Like, nothing to help citizens is being done there. They let criminals on the street. There's homeless motherfuckers everywhere. It's crowded. It's dense. Fucking smelly. I've been to New York once when I was a kid. I got pictures at the Rucker. I've been to fucking New York. It's been a while. But like, I wouldn't go back. Like, you ask me where I want to go. I want to go somewhere west. Why the fuck would I want to go to New York, of all places? Just to be surrounded by tens of thousands of people in my immediate radius at any given moment. Like, I'm going to pass on that, bro. I already don't go to concerts for crowds. And you want to tell me to go to New York? This leftist death trap? Like, nah, man. I'm just that shit's so fucked up. I don't see how it's not obvious that these leftist policies is all this socialist ass shit. Like, that's big time hubris, bro. Like, you motherfuckers are full of yourself. Like, really, really full of yourself to think like you don't have as much control as you think you have. Like, life's not that. You might have power. Power is different from control. Like, power gets shit done, but control is who does it. You know, you might order some shit, but if I say I ain't delivering, I got control of that shit. I'm in control. Even though you got the power to order, I got the control of whether you get it or not. Kind of works like that. So I would say power and control is not the same thing. They have the power to keep that man off the street and protect them girls. If that man would have stayed in jail, those girls would not have gotten stabbed. At least not by him. But no, he got left on some bullshit. And what'd he do? He went out there and reoffended. This guy had been arrested 17 fucking times. Like, at what point do you just like stop? You stop giving chances. 17 times? So it's like, oh, now that he stabbed some white girls, it's a problem. It's like, no, he was been a problem. It's unfortunate that the white girls got stabbed. Definitely. But this nigga been a problem. He been telling y'all he's a problem, and y'all shrugged it off. And it's not good enough that you only take it serious at the result when somebody suffers for it. I understand that's like a fact. Humanity has improved itself because people have suffered. That's why we have safety measures in place now. That's why we can, you get warning labels on your cigarettes and shit. Because motherfuckers have went through these pitfalls. So somebody got to do it. But this one was preventable. It was preventable. I can't shake that part. Like, it could have not happened if the city of New York would have just done its fucking job. And locked that nigga up. Locked his motherfucking rabbit monkey ass up. Locked that motherfucker up. Before I had to deal with that nigga. I'm on vacation. I'm trying to have a good time. I got this nigga coming around talking about I want the white people dead. If I'd have seen that shit, I would have intervened. I would have had to. I know it's not safe, but like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to just stand there and watch these girls get stabbed? No, nigga, I would pick up a chair and whack your ass. Nigga, I don't give a fuck. You going to jail. You're done. It's a wrap on your ass, bro. You just can't do that shit to people. Fuck, people come from another goddamn continent to feel safe and enjoy themselves, and you let them down. It's preventable. And that's where the outrage comes from in this shit. Like, New York is not gonna do better. They're showing you they're not gonna do better. Just like he was showing you he's not gonna do better, but you know, it needs to. Like, it needs some type of radical change. Now. That's just terrible what happened.